Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip, giving you the latest news and of course what players are linked with Manchester United as we always do on this current channel. But the first topic of development I'm going to give you an update on, as I did give you an update on a regular basis the other week, is in regards to MILINKOVIC, SAVIC and all that. So it does basically mention that Manchester United have reportedly submitted around £72 million bidding for him, but obviously this is going to be too insufficient for LAZIO, because obviously LAZIO are looking for somewhere in the region of around £90 million. So more than likely we are going to have to pay an extortionate amount for the current player. The reports, I think it was actually last week, reflected out saying that Manchester United had held talks with LAZIO and all that, and I think it was also stemming from Damasio, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, and he says Manchester United are in of course for Milinkovic, SAVIC and all that. I do believe his agent had travelled to the UK the other week, and I do believe Manchester United of course have held talks with his agent. So Lazio have said they want around £90 million. They have basically lowered their asking price, because obviously last summer Lazio were demanding in the region of around £108 million of course for the player, and reportedly we've identified him as one of our priority targets of course to replace Paul Pogba. But I do believe regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I still believe it's initially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan to add reinforcements of course in that midfield. But I do believe with the situation with Paul Pogba, it's not having any effect on us, getting likes of Bruno Fernandes or like any other player and all that. But I do believe now anyway Paul Pogba could remain with the football club, based on the extortion amount we have currently put on the player. But Milinkovic Savic I think is primarily a central midfielder, so he's mainly box to box. Obviously he has been at Lazio about 4 years now. I think he scored 31 goals in 138 games. I do believe Milinkovic Savic has been inconsistent in the last 5 or 6 months, but 5 or 6 months. But I do believe for the majority of that 4-year period he has been at Lazio. He has delivered the goods, he's scored goals, he's created a chance and all that. Obviously signed a new deal with Lazio last October I think it was, so he's under contract with Lazio until 2023. But he has been relentlessly linked to move to Manchester United since last summer, and I do believe under the Jose Mourinho of course Manchester United of course were scouting the player and all that. But 24 years of age, so still very very young, and as you all are aware, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to recruit young players to Manchester United this summer, that can grow, develop and of course emulate into superstars. But 24, Serbian and all that, and I think his tenacity is good. He's technically a very very good footballer. So if Manchester United do want to get a deal concluded for the player, we have got to pay in the excess of £90 million, as the Lazio president has confirmed. So Sky in Italy did report this last week, saying that Manchester United lodged a £72 million bidding for him, but obviously this bid is going to be turned down by Lazio, as it has currently confirmed. I think quite a few teams as well have expressed their interest in the current player, but he's one of the midfielders of course that Manchester United are in for. But we do know so far this summer we have currently got 2 signings on the board. Obviously we spent £65 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and we have seen glimpses of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka. What good signings they've proven to be so far, because I think they have done well in our 2 pre-season games of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and I do believe they've got all the ingredients required to become huge successes at Manchester United. I'd still say Daniel James is a prospect, and I'd still say he needs time to develop and all that, but I think he's done well in his in our first 2 pre-season games. And with Wan-Bissaka, I do believe he can be my right back for the next decade and all that. So I do believe they are 2 good signings. We spent £65 million on them too, but obviously we're going to want to build on that. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed that Manchester United are still looking to sign 1 or 2 more players. Obviously in this summer transfer window. Obviously we do know there's around just under 4 weeks remaining now of this transfer window, so there might be about 3.5, but I think it's just under 4 weeks now remaining of this window, so we have got to be more competitive now in this window. I do believe now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities will be to recommend this experienced centre half in. He'll also want to add new additions in that midfield. I do believe we need to sell players to help us generate funds, and of course rebuild the squad and all that. That's very very essential. Also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was recently talking about the club's ambitions for next season in the Premier League, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says we will be aiming for further up than 4th in the Premier League next season and all that. And like I did say, analysing our like I did say, analysing our current squad at this moment in time, I don't think it's competitive enough. This is why I did say, we need at least a couple of more players in and all that. But it's not competitive enough. And I did say, regardless of who our current manager is, we could have a manager to the highest level, and there's still currently struggle there with this Manchester United squad. I did say to you, I did actually say to you, I think our expectations probably will be to finish in the top four going on into this season and all that, because I think we're at least a couple of years off from winning the league or challenging for the league. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, will be at that top four. I may be proven wrong, but that's basically my current opinion and all that. But like I did quickly say with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's got a bit of experience as a manager. Not really to the highest level, but he did really well with Mold. He exceeded expectation levels. He won a couple of Norwegian titles there with Mold. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got appointed as our caretaker manager on the 19th of December last year. Following the dismissal of Jose Mourinho and all that. And obviously, whilst he was interim manager in that 3-month period, the results were good, the performances were good. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer exceeded expectation levels. We won our first 8 games in total. We won 14 games out of 19, and obviously, it was we were looking very good. And then obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had got the job permanently on the 28th of March, and I think then we only won 2 games out of 10 and all that. So basically, still lots needs to be addressed in the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, because obviously analysing it, the majority of this squad is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. There's only 2 players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's at this present time, and that's obviously Daniel James and of course Wan-Bissaka. But like I said, we basically do need to revitalise the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is aware of the speculation. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, he has said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there has been lots of speculation about players coming in, and of course players coming out and all that. But he has basically said he has spoken to the vast majority of our players this summer and all that, because he is aware of the speculation. But he's basically said, Solskjaer, that we don't need to sell players, but he's also intended. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has obviously made it clear that Manchester United are not intending on. We're not intending on spending them. We're not intending on overspending them on our current transfer targets. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is very adamant, of course, that we haven't received any bids, of course, for our players. We've had a really good start to pre-season. Like I said, 2 wins out of 2, 6 goals scored, none conceded. And like I did say with pre-season, I think pre-season's meaningless, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, it's obviously a lot more essential what happens, going on into the Premier League next season. But I like pre-season because obviously it gives upcoming players, the opportunity, to get a bit of experience under their belt and all that. And I think, the youth have really stepped up in these first 2 games in pre-season and all that. The youth have really stepped up. I think Daniel James has played well, and Wan-Bissaka's played well. Jimmy Garner's played quite well. Angel Gomez, Chong and that, played quite well. Mason Greenwood is obviously, he's assured more first team football, going on into this season. So Mason Greenwood is going to get promoted into the first team and all that, which is very good news. So yeah, we've had a great start to pre-season. Obviously, the Manchester United Inter Milan preview will be coming up. However, probably tomorrow more than likely. Obviously, we do travel to Singapore and all that. Obviously, I think he's in the Champions Cup against Inter Milan. Obviously, Fred, Darmian and Dean Henderson are going to link up with the squad for Singapore, because obviously, they didn't travel to Australia, due to family reasons. Obviously, we'll get more of an update of what's going on with David De Gea this week and Romelu Lukaku this week. Obviously, David De Gea and Lukaku have not yet made an appearance on tour. Well, De Gea was supposed to be playing against Leeds yesterday, but obviously, it turned out that he was ill, so he didn't play. And Lukaku, of course, sustained or not. But obviously in this pre-season, everybody's going to get the opportunity, like, Solskjaer did confirm, and even confirmed this when he first got the job, back in December of last year, that he'd give everybody the chance he did, the young players, the fringe players, the experienced players and all that. I think quite a few of the experienced players have been disappointing so far in pre-season. I think Mata was disappointing yesterday. Lingard was quite disappointing, but Lingard's definitely still the long-term solution for Manchester United. I think Matic has been very disappointing so far in pre-season. He's been very disappointing. So quite a few of the experienced players have been disappointing, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, it's busy pre-season ahead, like I currently said. But like I did currently say, we've got to hurry up this current transfer window and all that. Because analysing it at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Obviously Liverpool and that strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative that we catch up like Manchester City and Liverpool. Obviously we have seen players go since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in. Obviously we've seen Antonio Valencia leave after he served 10 years with Manchester United. Obviously we saw Ander Herrera leave on a free transfer, so we're going to need a replacement for him. And of course we saw Fellaini leave back in the January transfer window. But I do believe we need to sell Darmian, we need to sell Rojo, because analysing it, both players have enjoyed difficult times at the club. With Darmian, he's with Darmian, because Darmian hasn't really been given the opportunity, let's be honest, this is why he's enjoyed difficult time in the club. And with Marcus Rojo, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected His Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of current injuries he has currently sustained, and I do believe we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for the departures of Darmian and Rojo. With Sanchez, I did say I'm very sceptical that Sanchez is going to be leaving the club, because for the majority of the summer we've been trying to get rid of Alexis Sanchez, but obviously we found it very difficult, due to his substantial wages and all that. This is the main factor reason why we found it difficult to offload him. I don't think he's played in pre-season yet, Sanchez, because I still believe he's currently injured, but I do believe obviously he will get his opportunity in pre-season. Obviously we do know that Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku have both been relentless linked to move away from the football club. Obviously Pogba and Lukaku are our two most expensive signings, and I do believe it's going to be very, I think at the moment, based on the extortionate amounts we've put on both players, it's going to be hard for us, to currently offload them. So this could be the stumbling block of Pogba leaving, and of course Lukaku leaving, based on the huge fees, we've currently put on them and all that. But with Paul Pogba, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is and all that. But like I did say, we're not in Champions League football going on into this season, and obviously Champions League football is always very pivotal when you want to get your number one target. It's also very pivotal, of course, when you do want to keep convince your imperative players to stay at the football club and all that. Obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has held talks with Paul Pogba in regards to his long-term future. Obviously Paul Pogba was absent from pre-season training, was it the other week? This is obviously before I went on tour, and that obviously added more speculation in regards to his long-term future. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has obviously spoken about Paul Pogba. He's also spoken about Sanchez. Like I said, he also spoken about the club's ambitions and he's spoken about the club's ambitions for next season. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has praised Paul Pogba. He says he's a fantastic player and all that, and he has really praised him as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he's trying to do everything he can to try and convince him to remain at the football club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did basically say, we Manchester United can rebuild around Paul Pogba, and he did basically say that Paul Pogba does not need to leave the football club, to of course fulfill his ambitions. We're very adamant that Paul Pogba's not for sale. It did say at the time, would accept a bid in the region of around 150 million pounds and all that. Obviously reports reflected out last weekend saying that reportedly we've risen our asking price. Now reportedly want around 180 million pounds for Paul Pogba. So basically we're demanding double than what we initially paid from Juventus back in 2016. Obviously reports indicated out last month saying obviously Paul Pogba said he was seeking for a new challenge. He publicly admitted that he wants to leave Manchester United and all that, and he even did say at one point that Paul Pogba was even willing to go on strike to force him to move away from the football club. And I still know how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is. I think he's had a really good start to pre-season. Got a fantastic assist against Perth Glory, had great chances yesterday, so he was unlucky not to score yesterday and all that. But I do believe if we do sell Paul Pogba, we'll generate over £100 million for his departure. I do think it will help us with our transition, it will help us with our rebuilding process if we sell Pogba and Lukaku. But like I said, based on the extortionate amounts we've put on him, it could be very difficult, for Manchester United to currently offload them and all that. But like I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed that he has considered Paul Pogba for the captaincy at Manchester United next season again, to try and convince him to remain at the football club. I think obviously, following Valencia's departure, he was the captain, but now he's left. I think now it is Ash Young that's currently the captain at this present time. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is considering, giving Paul Pogba the captaincy permanently, going on into this season and all that. But we do know Paul Pogba, has been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. Obviously, he has also been linked to a move to Juventus. I do believe for quite some time that Paul Pogba's first choice preference has been Real Madrid. His first choice preference has been Real Madrid, and his likely destination, of course, has been Real Madrid. Obviously, Real Madrid are not willing to pay up to the £150 million, so they are not keen on a straight cash payment. Obviously, Real Madrid, I think, are trying to offload a couple of their players. I think they're trying to offload the likes of Bale, James Rodriguez, to help them generate funds to meet that £150 million valuation, because Real Madrid so far this summer have spent over £300 million on 5 players. Obviously, I think the vast majority of that, of course, went on Eden Hazard, who, of course, Real Madrid did pay, I think, in a deal worth around £150 million. I do believe Real Madrid are desperate to include Gareth Bale in their bid, to currently sign Paul Pogba. But whether Manchester United will be willing to go along with this, I do not know. So I did say if Pogba does end up leaving and does go to Real Madrid, he actually, Bale, could be still part of the deal and all that. And I do believe Real Madrid have held talks with Manchester United and all that, you know, about the Manchester United have held talks with Real Madrid, you know, about the sale of Paul Pogba. So the actual extortionate amount we put on him, you know, seems to be the stumbling block at the moment. But for the entirety of the summer, Paul Pogba has been relentless, you know, linked to move away from the football club. Obviously, you know, Paul Pogba hasn't been he hasn't lived up to expectation levels. You know, he hasn't been the player as we all thought he would have been since he rejoined Manchester United, because he did really, really well in his 4 years with Turin and all that. He exceeded expectation levels, did really, really well, but he hasn't really replicated this since he's made the return to Manchester United and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably believes, you know, he'll get better and better and better, you know, will Paul Pogba, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes, that he'll, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, will flourish under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance. This is probably where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is coming from. But like I did say, you know, I'd still say in this market at this day and age that Paul Pogba is worth from between 150 to 168 million pounds. Obviously, I think with Juventus anywhere, they'd probably have to offload one or two of their, you know, central players there to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I don't think Juventus, you know, would be able to afford him outright. I think Juventus are on the brink of getting Delete, or they've already now got Delete. You know, they've got Ronaldo last summer. You know, they've got Adrian Rabiot, they've got Aaron Ramsey. So they have done really, really good business so far this summer with Juventus. And Juventus have held negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, you know, Mini Raiola and all that. But he actually confirmed last week that, you know, Pavel Nedved, who's the vice chairman of Juventus, he'd allegedly notified Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola that Juventus offended their interest now in Paul Pogba and all that. But I think, you know, it's been initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans anyway, you know, to build a side around Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's agent, you know, Mini Raiola, he's been in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club, at least in the last, 2 to 3 months. But Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, did come out the other week and say that Paul Pogba, he said Paul Pogba's in the process of leaving Manchester United. And reflecting back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first press conference prior to the Perth Glory game, you know, he'd been peppered with questions about Paul Pogba. He'd also been asked questions about the quotes of what Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, you know, did come out with the other week, and I think he did really, really well in that press conference and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes he can try and convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously, Paul Pogba's stats were very impressive last season. You know, he scored 16 goals and provided 11 assists in 47 games in all competitions. Obviously, since he rejoined the club in 2016, obviously, you know, he scored 31 goals in 135 games for the club, and obviously, you know, he's won the Europa League and the League Cup with us. Obviously, that came in his second season and that with Manchester United, and he has still got 2 years left on his contract, with an option to extend by a further year, and of course he's on a 290 grand a week. But he did say, reportedly, Manchester United are set to open up contract talks with Paul Pogba again to try and convince him to remain at the football club and all that. But, you know, quite a few people have said, you know, this summer, you know, we should be sensible of our current recruitment. I do believe, you know, we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players. But, you know, because we have got a history of spending big on players, you know, especially in recent years. You know, Pogba 8 to 9 million, of course Lukaku 75 million pounds, with add-ons included, which should potentially rise it to 90 million pounds. But look, you know, who we've got so far in this summer. You know, we've got 2 players in. You know, we've spent 65 million pounds on 2 players and all that. And Daniel James, we got him for a reasonable figure. And, you know, Daniel James is a much cheaper solution, you know, compared to what we paid for the likes of Lukaku and Pogba and that in recent years. But obviously, for the last 5 or 6 years since Ferguson retired, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club. Obviously, players have come in, and of course, players have gone. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies and all that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was also talking about, you know, that he believes that Alex Ferguson, you know, transformed him into a winner. So actually, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. And hopefully, you know, I know what squad Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, wants to rebuild, and hopefully, you know, we can rebuild a squad, you know, that can replicate, you know, what the squad did, you know, under Alex Ferguson, you know, for 20 odd years. Obviously, there's been quite a lot of British players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda, because he's made that clear as well, that he does want to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer and all that. So Paul Pogba could now remain at the football club, but you know, if he is to leave, you know, who should replace him? Obviously, I like to update you at the beginning of the video about, you know, MILINKOVIC, SAVIC. With Bruno Fernandes, as I have been updating you on a regular basis, Bruno Fernandes now to Manchester United, you know, could actually be off, and some people are actually, you know, now convinced that we may only make one more signing in this summer transfer window. But we do know Bruno Fernandes for the entirety of this summer has been, you know, relentlessly, you know, linked to move to Manchester United and all that. And I do believe, you know, the fee seems to be the stumbling block at the moment in all of this, because Sporting Lisbon, you know, they've quoted out that they want around £70 million. Manchester United, of course, are reluctant, you know, to pay this figure, and reportedly, you know, we are only willing to pay around £50 million for Bruno Fernandes. So it reportedly said we've made like a contract offer for him, you know, according to the Mirror, was it a couple of days ago, saying that reportedly, you know, we'll pay him around £5.5 million a year, which does equate to around £100,000 a week. But it did report out a couple of weeks ago, actually, saying that, you know, we'd come to an agreement with Sporting Lisbon. It said the personal terms had been agreed. It also said, you know, contract and that had been agreed, but obviously no fee as yet come to an agreement. So I think that's problematic at this present time. But for the entirety of the summer, we've been in several talks with Sporting Lisbon and all that. I do believe Bruno Fernandes has notified his representatives that he does want to join Manchester United. So I do believe he has turned down Tottenham, he has turned down Liverpool. So I do believe his preferred preference is Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes has held talks with his current agent over the potential move to Manchester United and all that. But but reportedly, it did say we are preparing to put a £50 million bid in for him. I don't think this £50 million bid has been put in as yet, because recent reports indicated out saying we haven't made any official bid for Bruno Fernandes as yet. But I do believe the board have got concerns, about bringing Bruno Fernandes in, because they do believe he's too expensive, and they're only keen on us, spending £50 million on an actual player who's got little experience to the highest level. Because let's be honest, Bruno Fernandes has not really got the experience to the highest level and all that. As I do think you all currently know, he hasn't really got the experience to the highest level, but he has still got that experience as Bruno Fernandes. Him coming to Manchester United, rejuvenate the team, who wins them goals that we need in that midfield. I think his work ethic, very, very good. And like I said, with the situation with Paul Pogba, that's got nothing to do. That's not having any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United and all that. So I think, Bruno Fernandes moved to Manchester United, of course, he's not dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba, as you all currently know. But actually, Bruno Fernandes' agent, I think, was actually in the UK a couple of weeks ago to allegedly, thrash out a deal with Manchester United and all that. But I do believe now, we could currently miss out on the player. He's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. Obviously, he scored 31 goals, or was it 32 goals in all competitions last season. His initial release clause is around £88 million. Obviously, Manchester United are not determined to go anywhere near that figure and all that. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he's in the contract with them until 2023 and all that. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Italy when he was young, the likes of Sampdoria and Udinese and Novia, so he actually grew and developed in Italy and all that. Did Bruno Fernandes, but only 24 years of age. I do believe he's primarily an attacking midfielder and all that. But I am increasingly becoming infuriated now with the Bruno Fernandes transfer saga to Manchester United, because we just can't seem to be coming to an agreement with Sporting Lisbon. I do believe allegedly everything else has been agreed, but obviously no fee as yet come to an agreement, and I think that seems to be the current stumbling block, and we're not willing to pay £70 million for his services. And Sporting Lisbon themselves haven't been that reliable this summer, because they're sure that he was going to be going to Manchester City, was it around 7 or 8 weeks ago, but obviously it did confirm that's Manchester City and would withdrawn their interest. But I do believe City the other week were in talks with Sporting Lisbon. Obviously Tottenham and Liverpool have also held talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent. I think Federico Varandas, who is the president of Sporting Lisbon, he basically said there has been talks with Bruno Fernandes within regards to his future, but I think he has confirmed he does want to leave Sporting Lisbon and all that. But Manchester United now could be set to miss out on the player. But it did report to say we're putting a £50 million bid in for him. I just don't think £50 million is going to be enough to convince Sporting Lisbon to currently offload the player. But like I said, I think, we're still lacking in key areas, and, some people say that midfield and that right wing is actually, more imperative than recommending a central defender to come in. But like I did say, we're looking to get another 1 or 2 more players in before this window, does currently shut. As I've been updating you on a regular basis as well in regards to Harry Maguire from last week, I'll actually give you a bit more additional information about him yesterday. Obviously, we do know Harry Maguire has been relentlessly linked to move to Manchester United. Obviously, he's a central defender. Obviously, reflecting back last summer, our priority was to recommend a central defender to come in. But obviously, the main factor reason why we didn't, of course, get our number one target in, because obviously the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho, of course, I wanted to recommend in last summer. But like I said, last summer, our priority, of course, was to recommend a central defender in. Obviously, analysing it, we haven't had the defence, to really rebuild on, since we had the likes of Vidic, Ferdinand, Evra and Gary Neville and all that. And I don't think we had a world-class central defender since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand. So that defensive area, has been a problem for a number of years now, like I currently said. But we just need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. It indicated out earlier on this week there was talks about Victor Lindelof going to Barcelona, but I do believe Victor Lindelof had dismissed the speculations about linking him with move to Barcelona. But we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, and I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified Harry Maguire as his number one defensive target. But like I did say, I think Leicester's valuation seems to be the stumbling block at the moment of Harry Maguire making his move to Manchester United, or of course Manchester City, because also Manchester City have been in there for him. Basically, Harry Maguire, as told his informed Brendan Brendan Rodgers. He's also informed his Leicester teammates that he does, currently want to leave Leicester, obviously to rejuvenate his career and of course take his footballing career to the next level. And Leicester have agreed to let him go. They'll let him join Manchester United or Manchester City as long as Manchester United or Manchester City are willing to pay him a world record fee for him. So reportedly Leicester do want in the excess of around £80 million and all that. And obviously Manchester United and Manchester City are not willing to meet what Leicester of course are currently demanding. Obviously reports indicated out at the weekend saying that reportedly Manchester United reached an agreement with Leicester. This was last weekend. We reached an agreement with Leicester. It said we agreed a world record fee of £80 million. So it reportedly said we paid £60 million up front, 20 million in add-ons, which does potentially rise it to around £80 million. He did allegedly say, he was set to undergo his medical on Monday. Reportedly, I think he also left the training camp because obviously, he had been trained in France, Harry Maguire. I think he did play in that friendly, but I don't the other day, but I don't think currently started in the friendly and all that. But Harry Maguire's made it clear, to Leicester, that he does, currently want to leave and all that. But reportedly, Manchester United are not willing to pay £80 million for his services. Obviously, reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like the Manchester City were going to get Harry Maguire and all that. And I do believe his preferred preference is Manchester City over Manchester United. Obviously, City have been seeing him as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But obviously, it didn't literally say City had pulled out of the race because obviously, City are not willing to meet, of course, what Leicester are demanding and all that. So it has confirmed. Obviously, Manchester United have held several talks with Leicester. Manchester City have held several talks with Leicester. Obviously, Sky Sports did report the other week. Obviously, we'd lodged a £70 million bidding for him. I think we're only willing to pay 70 or £75 million for him, no more. But this £70 million bid had been turned down because obviously, this is too insufficient for currently Leicester and all that. This is been too insufficient for Leicester and all that. But I do really like Harry Maguire a lot, and I do believe if he came to Manchester United, he would address our defensive deficiencies. Because analysing it last season, we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games. So that just shows the issues, of course, that we have currently got defensively, and we need to see vast improvements going into this season. Because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th. We didn't win many silver, and we haven't won any silver in the last couple of seasons and all that. But Harry Maguire is a very, very good central defender. I think Leicester are asking for too much for him, but analysing it, Leicester don't want to lose him. This is why they're demanding an extortionate amount. This is why, of course, they have priced him out of the transfer market. It also reported out last Saturday that Harry Maguire has become infuriated. Well, he became infuriated with Leicester, blocking his proposed move to Manchester United or Manchester City and all that. But Harry Maguire is a very, very good central defender. He's nowhere near in the same calibre or level as Virgil van Dijk, because I'm going to be honest, I think Virgil van Dijk is the best central defender in the world and all that. Obviously, Liverpool paid £75 million for him. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender in world football at the moment. But obviously, Leicester are demanding that we have to basically pay a world record fee for the defender. If Leicester, of course, are willing to let Harry Maguire go and all that. But like I said, it's Premier League proven is Harry Maguire. He's 26 years of age, as we all know. So obviously, he has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him and all that. Obviously, he's been at Leicester 2 seasons. He's made 76 appearances for them in all competitions. Obviously, 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. He signed a new long-term contract with them last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023. And Leicester did pay around £17 million for his services from Hull City a couple of years ago and all that. So he has exceeded expectation levels well with Leicester, but I think his distribution's good. He holds his line really, really well. I don't think he's very fast, Harry Maguire, but I don't think that's currently an issue. But yeah, very, very good player, and I do believe he would be the right type of player for Manchester United. That could elevate as a forward and all that. But I don't know if I'm sceptical at the moment. I am a bit sceptical of him coming at the moment because obviously Leicester's valuation seems to be the stumbling block because we're not willing to meet, of course, what Leicester are currently demanding. I think also Mike Phelan's instructed Manchester United to prioritise a transfer for him because obviously Mike Phelan has a short tenure with Hull, and obviously Harry Maguire did play under Mike Phelan's guidance and all that, but Mike Phelan only had a short tenure with Hull, so Mike Phelan's keen on reuniting with the player. So Alex Ferguson also instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire. But I do really, really like him and all. But reflecting back quite a few weeks back, it was looking like the City were going to get a deal over the line for him. But he did allegedly say earlier on this week that actually Leicester had found their adequate replacement. He did reportedly say that they'd agreed a £45 million deal with with Brighton for Lewis Dunk. Obviously, Leicester are seeing him as a replacement for Harry Maguire. But Harry Maguire, could end up staying at Leicester if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because I just don't think we're not intending, or Manchester City not intending on, paying a world record fee for Harry Maguire. And I think maybe in this market, at this day and age, I'd say £70 million is probably reasonable for Harry Maguire. Maybe between £60 and £70 million I think is reasonable. But I think of Leicester are basically not asking for too much. But like I said, there's been so many central defenders on our agenda. De Ligt at one point was one of our priority targets, but obviously De Ligt's out of the equation because he's going to Juventus. Koulibaly, again, he's going to cost us an absolutely extortionate amount of money. I think Napoli are reluctant to offload him, so I think the only way we could get Koulibaly is if we was willing to pay silly amounts of money for him. I don't think that's initially in our plans. There was a lot of contradictions to that story. Them stories about Koulibaly. Some people are still talking about Toby Alderweireld. But like I said, there has been so many central defenders on our agenda. Reflecting back last summer, we was actually willing to pay £100 million for a central defender and all that. But looking at we have got issues defensively. I'm very, very hopeful that we can get one central defender in this summer transfer window. Obviously. Some people have actually said we need two central defenders because obviously you've got the likes of, Smalling and Jones that are not good enough for Manchester United. They've been too long-serving players at the club. They have proven themselves in the years they have been here, but they're no longer good enough now to represent Manchester United. They're too inconsistent. Jones did score yesterday, but I've still got a lot of concerns about him. And I do believe it was bad business for Manchester United. Giving Smalling and Jones, new long-term contracts. We've got Eric Bailly as well. I thought Eric Bailly played quite well yesterday. And I think probably Eric Bailly is still a long-term solution for Manchester United. I think he's a very imperative player, but in my opinion, I think Eric Bailly's Manchester United career has been badly affected. Reflecting on the amount of injuries he's sustained. Obviously, with his fallout on the managers and all that. So Eric Bailly's career at Manchester United, of course, has been currently affected. But still very, very imperative player. So probably we just need at least one central defender. As I did give you the news yesterday, in regards to Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis, I've actually spoken about this with you guys yesterday. Reportedly now he's handed in a transfer request at Real Betis with Giovanni Lo Celso because he's obviously, before I do get into it all, he's primarily a central midfielder. He is Argentinian, he's 23 years of age, just still very, very young. But, this has been going on for the majority of the summer, Giovanni Lo Celso, of course, leaving Real Betis, and I think, Tottenham are obviously, the favourite to sign the player. Obviously, Tottenham have been in negotiation with Real Betis for quite some time now over getting a deal concluded. But now Giovanni Lo Celso has reportedly handed in a transfer request. I do believe Real Betis have accepted the fact that he does currently want to leave, but I think Real Betis are looking for somewhere in the region of around around £70 million. Of course, if they are willing to offload the player. I do believe Tottenham, was it a couple of months ago, they lodged a £53 million bidding for him. Obviously, Tottenham had this bid turned down because this is too insufficient for Real Betis. Tottenham so far this summer have got two players on the board. They've got Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon. They obviously got Jack Clarke from Leeds, but obviously Jack Clarke's being loaned out to Leeds for next season and all that. But yeah, Giovanni Lo Celso has been one of Tottenham's priority targets. But he still says Manchester United are in there for Giovanni Lo Celso. Obviously last season was his first season with Real Betis. Obviously he spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis because initially Real Betis did get him from PSG. They paid a loan fee. Obviously they had the option to buy him and all that. So obviously Real Betis did end up making a deal permanent back in April by paying around a further 19 or 20 million pounds. So if Real Betis of course do offload Giovanni Lo Celso, obviously PSG do benefit from it because they get a percentage of any current sale. And I do believe the main reason why probably Giovanni Lo Celso wants to leave Real Betis because maybe I think he actually wants to be in Champions League football and all that. So I think this is the main reason why he does currently want to leave. Giovanni Lo Celso's initial release clause is around 88 million pounds and all that. But it does reportedly say that Manchester United are reportedly still in there for the play. But I do believe he's mainly box-to-box midfielder. So it is Man United and Tottenham battling out for his services and all that. With Manchester, with Sean Longstaff from Newcastle, I don't think now I think we're set to withdraw our interest now in Sean Longstaff because obviously Newcastle have indicated out that he's not currently for sale. Obviously quite a few weeks ago now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for Sean Longstaff. We initially value him from between 18 to 20 million pounds. Obviously this is this is obviously, you know, way too insufficient for Newcastle, because they've said they want a bid, they want in excess around £50 million if they are willing to offload the player. So we value him from between 18 and 20 million pounds. So looking at it, Newcastle are demanding, you know, more than double this and all that. So Newcastle said they want £50 million. Sky Sports reported the other week saying that Manchester United held high level talks with Newcastle about Sean Longstaff. It did get confirmed that no official bid had been, you know, currently put in. So no official bid has been, you know, currently put in by Manchester United. But it says reportedly we was planning to put a bid in for him of around £30 million and all that. Sean Longstaff is 21 years of age. He's primarily central midfielder. So again, mainly a box-to-box midfielder. And he's still inexperienced at the moment, because obviously, you know, he only made his senior debut for Newcastle in December of last year and all that. And I do believe in his second half of last season he did really, really well. You know, he thrived under Rafa Benitez's guidance. You know, he did put some good performances and that out, and he was one of Newcastle's standout players. But he's just not worth in the region of £50 million. I think reflecting on his performances, Sean Longstaff had been given a new contract, a 4-year contract, so he's under contract with Newcastle till 2022. And I thought initially we'd been given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff following the, you know, departure of Rafa Benitez. Obviously, you know, as you all know, Rafa Benitez had currently resigned. Also, you know, Newcastle and that have lost Perez. So from Newcastle's perspective, from a Newcastle perspective, they believe Sean Longstaff is fully committed to their club and all that. But yeah, definitely, you know, Manchester United of course have been in there for him. Obviously, I still believe he's recovering from injury, because obviously, you know, he sustained a knee ligament injury back in March that ruled him out for the last couple of months of last season. And yeah, like I said, I still believe he's recovering from this injury. Is Sean Longstaff, but £50 million is too steep. So I do believe now we are currently going to withdraw our interest in the player. But like I said, we've got to address that midfield, because you've got the likes of Fred. With Fred, I'm very sceptical about Fred if he's the long-term solution for Manchester United. And we paid £50 million for Fred. I do believe we overpaid for Fred, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. You know, he did prove himself towards the back end of last season, did Fred, but he hasn't really been given the chance at Manchester United. You know, under the Jose Mourinho era, you know, he never really got the opportunity. We did get him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk, and don't get him wrong, he was a great player at Shakhtar Donetsk, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. So I've got strong concerns about Fred. You know, you've got McTominay. I think McTominay probably will get better. He's one of our fringe players, but I think he'll get better, you know, throughout this pre-season. All that, he's going to gain a bit more experience. I do believe going into this season, the Premier League as well, he's going to get more of a chance. He's McTominay, you know, which is very, very good. So he's inexperienced at the moment, but he's going to get more experience, which is also, you know, good. He's still very, very young. Matic, I think he's too inconsistent. He's too slow in that midfield. As I said, basically, you know, we need to get rid of Nemanja Matic, but obviously, you know, that's not, you know, currently going to happen. Yeah, so we definitely, you know, need to address that midfield without a shadow of a doubt and all that. But yeah, I don't think now we're going to currently, you know, go in for Sean Longstaff. Obviously, there's been talk, you know, about Mario Lemina going on. But I think, you know, Manchester United are no longer interested, of course, in Mario Lemina. I'm no longer interested in Mario Lemina. So yeah, so many midfielders on our current agenda. As I've been giving you an update on a regular basis in regards to Romelu Lukaku and all that. Well, actually, I've been reading recent reports now about Romelu Lukaku, because obviously we do know for the entirety of the summer, you know, he's been linked to a move to Inter Milan, and obviously throughout the summer, you know, Lukaku has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan. And obviously, you know, our valuation, you know, seems to be the stumbling block of Lukaku, you know, making his proposed move to Inter Milan, because, you know, we've said we want around 75 or 80 million pounds, so we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, or even we are trying to gain a little bit of a profit and all that. But now, obviously, you know, Inter Milan have obviously, you know, inquired about getting him on a 2-year loan worth around £9 million up front. You know, we've then the obligation to buy for the further £54 million at the end of the loan. But obviously, Manchester United turned this down because we're only willing to let Lukaku go on a permanent deal and all that. Our talks have been going on for quite a long time, you know, between Inter Milan and Manchester United. Inter Milan, of course, have been trying to offload a couple of their players to help them generate funds, you know, to meet that 75 or 80 million pound valuation. But I did say now there could be a possibility that Lukaku could remain at the football club based on the extortionate amount, you know, we have currently put on the player. I do believe when we got him 75 million pounds a couple of years ago from Everton. I do believe, you know, we overpaid for the current player. But, you know, reports came out about this last week saying that, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer held talks with Romelu Lukaku, you know, held talks with Romelu Lukaku, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, wants wants him to stay at the club, well, for at least one more season and all that. Lukaku blatantly made it clear last week that he wants to leave Manchester United because obviously he's unhappy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, obviously Lukaku has found himself service to requirements, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference has been Marcus Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku. So Lukaku, of course, has become increasingly frustrated about this, but he has confirmed Lukaku that he does currently want to leave the football club and all that. So potentially now, recent reports have actually indicated out saying that Inter Milan, will come up with an improved offer. I think it did say sometime this week. I think it reported about this in Sky Sports earlier on this week. And now reportedly Inter Milan are willing to meet our £75 million valuation, but I don't believe this is obviously not going to be all in one go. I do believe that that the payments are going to be currently structured. So reportedly Inter Milan are planning to maybe offer around a guaranteed £60 million. Whether this is going to be £60 million up front or the payment is going to be structured or not, I'm not too sure. But reportedly they're willing to offer a guaranteed £60 million, whether it's all in one go, like I said, or if it's in the next couple of years, I don't know. And I think there's also bonuses included. So Inter Milan will meet our £75 million valuation with bonuses included in the deal. So reportedly they'll pay £60 million. Then the further £15 million in bonuses is obviously not dependent on how Lukaku performs at the San Siro and all that. Whether Manchester United will be willing to offer accept this offer or not, I do not know. Probably not, to be quite honest with you. But actually, reports indicated out last month, was it, that Lukaku had agreed the personal terms with Inter Milan. It also said he had agreed a deal worth around 180 grand a week, so the contract and that had been sorted out. But obviously, no fee has yet come to an agreement and all that. Obviously, last week reported out saying that the Inter Milan director travelled to London to hold negotiations with Manchester United, to thrash out a deal for Romelu Lukaku and all that. This is when I think Inter Milan, had submitted this 2-year loan offer. But the talks have been going on for several weeks. But Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Reflected back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte wanted Lukaku. This is when he was Chelsea manager. But obviously, he ended up, coming to Manchester United. And Lukaku has said Antonio Conte, well, he's described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. And he's keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance as Romelu Lukaku. And he believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. But Lukaku's been at the football club 2 years. He scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions. Lukaku was exceptional in his first season, but of course, didn't really replicate this form, of course, in his second season. And he has still got 3 years left in his contract on Manchester United. And I did say if Lukaku does leave the football club, obviously we're definitely going to need a replacement for him. Some people say we don't need a replacement for him, but we do need a replacement for him. Some people say, we've got the likes of Mason Greenwood. Obviously we have got Mason Greenwood, and he's obviously, going to be assured to get, he's going to be assured more playing time going on into this season. He's going to be promoted into the first team, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. We've got the likes of Chong, but still at the moment, Mason Greenwood and Chong are still a bit inexperienced. That's what I've got concerns about. This is why I do think we need a replacement for Lukaku. We have got Rashford and Martial, and they're doing very, very well, but Rashford's done really, really well in his first 2 games in pre-season, like I said. But I still think, they're at least a year off, from getting to that level where they do want to be, Rashford and Martial, and they are still both very, very young. So I think we need a replacement for Lukaku, and people have been talking about Wissam Ben Yedder. Wissam Ben Yedder is a good player. I don't think there's a lot of credibility in him coming to Manchester United. Based on his experience, I think it will be beneficial for Manchester United. His goal scoring pedigree, and that's very, very good. He's a Wissam Ben Yedder. He's served 3 years with Sevilla. He's 28 years of age. He's got 2 years left on his contract here with Sevilla. I do believe his initial release cost is around £36 million. So there has been talks about Wissam Ben Yedder. Dybala, some people said Dybala would be a good replacement. Cardiff from Inter Milan would be a good replacement. What? What?
I had such a tall mark outside earlier. I'm playing him round his windows next door. And he said to me,
what?
And I'm sure he didn't go upstairs. I went, he'll skipped it. How much of the word is windows later?
Alright.
He rung me up the other day, what's he doing?
Dad, shut down, I'm smoking this.
Why do you want to come and do me?
No, shut down, I'm smoking this.
Come and do me if you want, there's only a few flowers.
Shut door, I'm smoking
don't
this.
so much.
That's why I said...
Review?
Yeah, well, I've nearly done it now.
I've already done one.
No, this transfers.
Charlie with Braxton.
But like I said, I'm sorry about that, I was just talking. Moussa Dembele as well. Some people said, he would be a good replacement and all that. But yeah. So, like I said, very, very good news in regards to David De Gea. You know, he's on the verge of signing a new contract, you know, which is very, very good. As Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm in his press conference, you know, prior to the Leeds game, you know, David De Gea's he's indicated that he's close to signing a new deal. He did initially say he was going to play against Leeds, but I've obviously give you the reason why he didn't play him against Leeds. Obviously, we've sorted the contracts out now. You know, Juan Mata signed a new contract a couple of weeks ago. Pereira and Alex Tuanzebe obviously got new contracts. Rashford signed a new long-term contract the other week. I was really, really happy about. You know, Martial signed a 5-year deal back in January. Young got a new 1-year extension. Obviously, Smalling Jones got given a new long-term contract. McTominay signed a new long-term contract last season. And I did say it wasn't initially a problem. You know, we was letting far too many players' contracts run down, but I think we have now resolved that problem. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I hope to say, you know, he's the right man, you know, to get Manchester United, you know, back to glory. Got a fantastic pedigree as a player. Like I said, he's got a bit of experience as a manager, but not really to the highest level and all that. But I hope he can succeed at Manchester United, and I love him a lot. And you know, we've already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and you know, like I said, we haven't got the structure, of course, to keep sacking managers and all that. But yeah, very, very good start to pre-season. Like I said, Inter Milan coming up at the weekend in Singapore. I think is it the National Stadium? If I'm right, it is the Champions Cup. Inter Milan's probably going to be a tough test, to be quite honest with you. Inter Milan are not a bad team on the day. Then we've obviously got Tottenham coming up. I think Tottenham's actually, you know, in Shanghai, so that's China, of course. But yeah, so more things will update as it, you know. So if I get a bit of information today about the Inter Milan game, I will be back on this channel. I probably will be doing the preview tomorrow. Obviously, we'll give you the reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference and all that. So yeah, so anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.